Leading from Afar, Best Practices for Managing Remote Teams. This audiobook is brought to you by Web Anywhere, leaders in education technology since 2003. Definition of remote work and its growth in recent years.
Remote work, also known as telecommuting or working from home, is a flexible work arrangement in which an employee performs their job duties outside of a traditional office setting. This can include working from a home office, co-working space, or other location outside of the traditional office. Remote work has grown in popularity in recent years as technology has made it easier to stay connected and collaborate with colleagues remotely. In the past few years, remote work has seen a significant increase in adoption due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In response to the pandemic, many companies have been forced to adopt remote work policies to ensure the safety of their employees. This has accelerated the shift towards remote work, and many companies have found that it can be just as effective, if not more so, than traditional office-based work. As a result, many companies have continued to allow remote work. Remote work is a flexible work arrangement where an employee can perform their job duties from a location outside of the traditional office. Remote work has seen a significant increase in popularity in recent years, driven by advances in technology, changing attitudes towards work-life balance, and the COVID-19 pandemic. The trend is expected to continue in the future as more companies see the benefits of remote work.
Advantages of remote work for both employers and employees.
Remote work can provide many advantages for both employers and employees. For employers, some of the key benefits of remote work include 1. Increased productivity. Remote workers are often able to focus better and be more productive without the distractions of a traditional office. 2. Lower overhead costs. Employers can save on expenses such as office space and utilities. 3. Access to a wider pool of talent. Remote work allows employers to hire the best candidates regardless of their location. 4. Improved employee morale and retention. Remote workers often have a better work-life balance and are happier in their jobs, which can lead to higher retention rates. For employees, some of the key benefits of remote work include 1. Greater flexibility. Remote workers have more control over their schedules and can often balance their work and personal lives more effectively. 2. Reduced commute time. Remote workers can save time and money by not having to commute to and from work. 3. Increased job satisfaction. Remote workers are often more satisfied with their jobs and have a better work-life balance. 4. Access to more job opportunities. Remote work allows employees to take jobs that would not be available to them if they were required to be in the office. Overall, remote work can provide many benefits for both employers and employees, including increased productivity, lower costs, access to a wider talent pool, improved employee morale, and greater flexibility. However, it's important to be aware of the potential challenges and to have effective communication and collaboration tools to ensure success.
The challenges of managing remote staff. Setting clear expectations and goals.
Managing remote staff can present a number of challenges, including when teams are working remotely, one of the first challenges that surfaces is the breakdown of communication and collaboration. Without the natural rhythm of face-to-face interactions, it becomes harder to stay aligned. Messages can get lost in translation, and that sense of camaraderie we often take for granted in the office. It starts to fade. For managers, the lack of physical presence introduces another layer of complexity: oversight. Without being able to see who's at their desk or check in spontaneously, there's a constant question mark hanging over productivity and progress. Are deadlines being met? Is everyone pulling their weight? These are questions that are much harder to answer when your team is scattered across different locations. And then there's the human side of things. Feelings of isolation and loneliness. Working from home might sound appealing, but over time, that solitude can take a toll. The buzz of a shared workspace, the casual chats, even the occasional office banter, these things matter more than we often realize. Without them, job satisfaction can dip and motivation can start to slip away. Building trust and relationships in a remote setting also becomes more difficult. It's not easy to develop rapport over a screen, and when people don't feel connected, collaboration suffers. Teams may find themselves working in silos, hesitant to reach out or share ideas simply because those connections haven't had the chance to grow. Evaluating performance is another major hurdle. In a traditional office, a manager might observe a team member's workflow, offer immediate feedback, or catch issues before they escalate. In a remote environment, those moments are rare. Performance reviews become less about what's seen and more about what's reported, which can make evaluations feel less grounded in reality. Lastly, there's the question of compliance. Making sure that policies are followed and procedures are respected can be tricky when the team isn't under one roof. From company standards to legal requirements, ensuring everyone is on the same page requires more deliberate communication and tighter systems. One of the most important ways to overcome these challenges is by setting clear expectations and goals. This includes clearly communicating what is expected of remote workers, setting measurable performance metrics, and providing regular feedback. It's also important to ensure that remote workers have the tools and resources they need to stay connected and collaborate with their colleagues effectively. Additionally, providing opportunities for remote workers to connect and socialize with their colleagues can help to mitigate feelings of isolation and loneliness.
Setting specific, measurable goals for remote workers.
Setting specific, measurable goals for remote workers is essential for ensuring that they are productive and meeting expectations. This can include 1. Establishing clear performance metrics. Identify specific, measurable goals that remote workers should strive to achieve, such as sales targets, customer satisfaction ratings, or task completion rates. 2. Defining deliverables and deadlines. Clearly communicate what remote workers are expected to deliver and by when, to ensure that they understand their responsibilities and are held accountable for their work. 3. Communicating expectations for communication and collaboration. Clearly outline the expectations for how remote workers should communicate with their colleagues and managers, and how often. Establishing regular check-ins. Schedule regular meetings or check-ins to discuss progress, provide feedback, and address any issues that may arise. 5. Creating opportunities for development and growth. Identify opportunities for remote workers to develop new skills and advance in their careers. 6. Establishing a system for tracking progress. Implement a system for tracking progress and measuring performance, such as a project management tool or performance review software. By setting specific, measurable goals and providing regular feedback, managers can ensure that remote workers stay on track and are held accountable for their work. Additionally, providing opportunities for development and growth can help to keep remote workers engaged and motivated.
Importance of regular performance evaluations. Communication and collaboration.
Regular performance evaluations are an essential tool for managers to assess the performance of remote workers and provide feedback. These evaluations can take many forms, including one-on-one meetings, performance reviews, or self-evaluations. Regardless of the format, regular evaluations help to ensure that remote workers are meeting expectations and are aligned with the goals of the organization. The first important aspect of regular performance evaluations is its ability to provide clear and constructive feedback. This feedback can help remote workers identify areas for improvement and understand how their work is contributing to the organization's goals. Additionally, regular evaluations can help managers identify any training or development needs that remote workers may have. Second, regular evaluations can help to create a sense of accountability and ownership among remote workers. When remote workers understand that they will be evaluated on their performance, they are more likely to take ownership of their work and strive to meet expectations. This can lead to improved performance and increased job satisfaction. Finally, regular evaluations can foster open communication and collaboration between managers and remote workers. This can help to build trust and relationships between remote workers and their managers, which is essential for effective collaboration and teamwork. Additionally, open communication and collaboration can help managers identify and address any issues or concerns that remote workers may have. Evaluations are a key tool for managers to assess the performance of remote workers, provide feedback, foster accountability, and create opportunities for open communication and collaboration. By incorporating regular evaluations into their management practices, managers can ensure that their remote teams are aligned with the goals of the organization and working together effectively.
Utilizing technology to facilitate collaboration.
Utilizing technology to facilitate collaboration is becoming increasingly important in today's fast-paced business environment. With the rise of remote work, virtual teams, and globalized business operations, technology is playing a critical role in connecting people, sharing information, and fostering teamwork. One key way technology is facilitating collaboration is through the use of cloud-based collaboration tools. These tools allow team members to share documents, collaborate on projects, and communicate with each other in real time, regardless of their location. Popular examples include Google Workspace, Microsoft Teams, Slack, Watch, and Learn and SoundBranch. Another way technology is facilitating collaboration is through the use of video conferencing software. With tools like Zoom, Google Meet, and Event Anywhere, team members can have face-to-face meetings and presentations even if they are thousands of miles apart. This helps to build trust, foster personal connections, and create a sense of community among team members.
Importance of virtual team building.
Virtual team building is important because it helps to foster a sense of connection and community among team members who may not be able to meet in person. It is essential for virtual teams to establish trust, effective communication, and a shared sense of purpose in order to work together effectively. 1. Virtual team building activities. Planning. Virtual team building activities can help team members to bond and get to know one another better. Examples include virtual happy hours, online game nights, and virtual scavenger hunts. 2. Virtual coffee breaks. Scheduling regular virtual coffee breaks can give team members an opportunity to catch up informally and discuss non-work related topics. This can help to build relationships and create a more relaxed, friendly atmosphere among team members. 3. Virtual mentoring program. Establishing a virtual mentoring program can help team members to share their skills and experiences with one another. This can be especially useful for newer team members, who can benefit from the guidance and support of more experienced team members. 4. Virtual team challenges. Setting up virtual team challenges can be a fun way to promote teamwork and build camaraderie among team members. Examples include virtual fitness challenges, virtual cooking competitions, and virtual escape rooms. 5. Virtual team building workshops. Hosting virtual team building workshops can help to improve communication, collaboration, and problem-solving skills among team members. Examples include virtual communication skills training, virtual collaboration workshops, and virtual problem-solving workshops. Team building is an essential component of working effectively in a virtual team setting. By implementing these ideas, virtual teams can build strong relationships, improve communication, and foster a sense of community among team members.
Fostering a culture of trust. Building trust with remote workers.
Fostering a culture of trust is essential for building successful teams, regardless of whether team members are working in the same office or remotely. When team members trust each other, they are more likely to collaborate effectively, share ideas, and work towards common goals. Building trust with remote workers is particularly important, as remote workers may not have the same opportunities to build relationships with their colleagues as those who work in the same office. However, there are several strategies that can be used to build trust with remote workers. One key strategy is to establish clear communication channels and protocols. This might include setting up regular check-ins, providing regular updates on team progress and goals, and encouraging team members to share their thoughts and ideas. Additionally, providing remote workers with the tools and resources they need to do their jobs effectively can also help to build trust. Another important strategy for building trust with remote workers is to be mindful of the challenges that remote work can create. For example, remote workers may feel isolated or disconnected from their colleagues. By being aware of these challenges, managers can take steps to address them, such as encouraging remote workers to connect with their colleagues through virtual team-building activities or virtual coffee breaks. Finally, it is also important to recognize and reward the contributions of remote workers. When remote workers feel valued, they are more likely to be engaged and motivated, which can help to build trust and foster a positive team culture. Building trust with remote workers is crucial for the success of virtual teams. By establishing clear communication channels, providing remote workers with the necessary tools, being mindful of remote work challenges, and recognizing and rewarding their contributions, managers can build trust with their remote workers and foster a positive team culture.
Micromanaging versus outcome-based management.
Micromanaging is a management style in which managers closely monitor and control the work of their subordinates. This style is characterized by managers closely monitoring their team's progress and frequently checking in on their work, often at the expense of giving employees the autonomy to work independently. Micromanaging can lead to employees feeling demotivated, undervalued, and stressed, which can negatively impact their work quality and productivity. On the other hand, outcome-based management is a style in which managers focus on achieving specific goals and outcomes, rather than closely monitoring the day-to-day activities of their team. This management style is characterized by setting clear goals, providing the necessary resources and support, and giving employees the autonomy to work independently to achieve those goals. Outcome-based management empowers employees to take ownership of their work and make decisions that align with the overall goals of the team. Outcome-based management allows employees to feel more in control of their work, which can lead to increased motivation, engagement, and productivity. This type of management style also allows for more flexibility and creativity, as employees are not constrained by rigid rules and procedures. Additionally, outcome-based management can lead to better communication and collaboration, as team members are more likely to share ideas, take initiative, and contribute to the team's success.
Providing regular feedback. How to provide regular feedback for remote workers.
Providing regular feedback is an important aspect of managing remote workers. Regular feedback can help remote workers to understand how they are performing, what areas they need to improve in, and what they are doing well. This can also help remote workers to feel more in control of their work and more connected to the team. There are several strategies that managers can use to provide regular feedback for remote workers. One effective strategy is to schedule regular one-on-one meetings with each remote worker. These meetings can be used to provide feedback on their work, discuss progress towards goals, and address any issues or concerns. Another effective strategy is to use digital tools to provide feedback. For example, managers can use project management software or team collaboration platforms such as Watch and Learn to provide feedback on tasks or projects. This can be particularly useful for remote teams that are spread out across different time zones or locations. It is important to not only provide feedback on what is not done well, but also acknowledge and give credit for good work. Managers can also use feedback as an opportunity to provide remote workers with coaching and guidance, which can help them to develop new skills and improve their performance. Finally, it is important to be mindful of the remote worker's emotional state and work environment, providing feedback in a sensitive and constructive way. This can help remote workers to feel valued and supported, which can increase their motivation and engagement. Managers can use strategies such as scheduling regular one-on-one meetings, using digital tools, providing both constructive and positive feedback, providing coaching and guidance, and being sensitive to remote workers' emotional state to provide regular feedback to remote workers.
Importance of recognizing and rewarding success.
Recognizing and rewarding success is an important aspect of any management strategy. When employees feel that their hard work and achievements are acknowledged and rewarded, they are more likely to be motivated, engaged, and productive. A culture of recognition and rewards can also help to build a positive and supportive work environment, which can lead to increased employee satisfaction and retention. Rewarding success can take many forms, such as verbal or written recognition, bonuses, promotions, or other incentives. It is important to tailor the form of recognition and rewards to the individual employee and their specific achievements. For example, an employee who has made a significant contribution to a project may be given a bonus, while an employee who has demonstrated exceptional customer service may be given a public acknowledgement at a team meeting. When team members see that their colleagues are being recognized and rewarded for their contributions, they are more likely to work together to achieve common goals. This can lead to improved communication, cooperation, and collaboration among team members. Shoutouts help managers to identify and promote high-performing employees. By identifying and rewarding employees who have made significant contributions, managers can identify potential leaders and future managers, which can help to promote internal growth and development. Giving praise helps to increase employee motivation, engagement, and productivity, build a positive and supportive work environment, promote teamwork and collaboration, and identify and promote high-performing employees.
How to handle performance issues with remote workers. Respecting work boundaries.
Handling performance issues with remote workers can be challenging as it can be difficult to monitor their work and provide guidance and support. However, it is important to address performance issues in a timely and effective manner in order to maintain the productivity and effectiveness of the team. Managers need to establish clear performance expectations and metrics. This can include setting specific goals, outlining expected work hours, and establishing protocols for communication and collaboration. By setting clear expectations, remote workers can understand what is expected of them and can be held accountable for their performance. Another strategy is to establish regular check-ins and performance evaluations. Managers can schedule regular one-on-one meetings with remote workers to discuss their progress, provide feedback, and address any issues or concerns. This can help to keep remote workers on track and ensure that they are meeting the goals and expectations that have been set for them. It is also important to provide remote workers with the necessary resources and support to meet their performance expectations. This can include providing training, access to necessary tools and technology, and clear communication channels. Managers need to recognize that remote workers may have different work schedules or responsibilities outside of work, and to be considerate of those when handling performance issues. This can also include providing remote workers with flexibility in their work schedules to accommodate personal responsibilities.
Flexibility with remote workers' schedules.
Remote workers often have different responsibilities and obligations outside of work, such as caring for children or elderly relatives, that may impact their availability during traditional working hours. By providing flexibility with remote workers' schedules, managers can accommodate these responsibilities and create a more inclusive and supportive work environment. One way to provide flexibility with remote workers' schedules is to allow them to set their own work hours. This can include the option to work flexible hours, such as working during the evening or on weekends, or to take time off during the day for personal responsibilities. This can help to ensure that remote workers are able to balance their work and personal responsibilities effectively. Another way to provide flexibility with remote workers' schedules is to allow them to work from different locations. This can include working from home, a co-working space, or a satellite office. This can help to ensure that remote workers have access to the resources and support they need to be productive, and can work in a location that is most convenient for them. Providing flexibility with remote workers' schedules can also help managers to attract and retain top talent. Remote workers are often looking for opportunities to work in a way that fits their lifestyle and personal responsibilities, and a flexible schedule can be a key factor in their decision to join or stay with a company. Flexible work can help to accommodate personal responsibilities, create a more inclusive and supportive work environment, ensure that remote workers are able to balance their work and personal responsibilities effectively, and attract and retain top talent. By providing flexibility, managers can ensure that remote workers are able to be productive and successful in their roles.
Importance of respecting remote workers' boundaries.
Remote workers often have different responsibilities and obligations outside of work, such as caring for children or elderly relatives. that may impact their availability during traditional working hours. By respecting remote workers' boundaries, managers can create a more inclusive and supportive work environment. One aspect of respecting remote workers' boundaries is respecting their work hours and schedule. Remote workers may have different work schedules or availability than in-office workers, and it is important for managers to respect these schedules and not expect them to be available during traditional working hours. This can include not expecting remote workers to be available for meetings or calls outside of their designated work hours. Another aspect of respecting remote workers' boundaries is respecting their personal space. Remote workers may work from home, a co-working space, or a satellite office, and it is important for managers to respect these spaces and not invade their privacy. Managers need to be mindful of sharing personal information about their home life or family. Remote workers may have different responsibilities and obligations outside of work, and it is important for managers to respect these responsibilities and not expect them to be available at all times.
How to handle time zone differences. Encouraging socialization.
Knowledge workers may be located in different time zones, which can create challenges for communication and collaboration. However, there are several strategies that managers can use to effectively handle time zone differences. One strategy is to establish a clear and consistent communication schedule. This can include regular team meetings, check-ins, and status updates that are scheduled at a time that is convenient for all team members, regardless of their location. Utilizing tools such as video conferencing and instant messaging can also help to facilitate communication across time zones. Another strategy is to use project management software that allows team members to track progress, share files, and collaborate in real time. This can help to ensure that team members are able to stay informed about project progress and communicate effectively, regardless of their location or time zone. Another way to handle time zone differences is to encourage socialization among remote team members. This can include virtual team building activities, virtual happy hours, and other social events that can help remote team members to connect and build relationships with their colleagues. This can help to foster a sense of community and teamwork among remote workers, despite time zone differences.
Encouraging social interactions among remote workers.
Encouraging social interactions among remote workers is an important aspect of managing a remote workforce. Remote workers may not have the same opportunities for face-to-face interactions and building relationships with their colleagues as in-office workers, and it is important for managers to create opportunities for social interactions among remote workers. One strategy is to schedule regular virtual team meetings or check-ins. These meetings can be used to discuss project progress, share information, and build relationships among team members. Utilizing video conferencing can also help to facilitate interactions and make remote workers feel more connected to their colleagues. Another way to encourage social interactions among remote workers is to create virtual communities or forums where remote workers can share information, ask questions, and connect with their colleagues. This can include company-wide social media groups or internal messaging platforms. Providing opportunities for remote workers to interact and connect with each other, like mentoring programs, can also be beneficial. This can help remote workers to learn new skills, gain support, and build relationships with their colleagues. Social interactions among remote workers is an important aspect of managing a remote workforce. Strategies such as scheduling regular virtual team meetings, organizing virtual team building activities, creating virtual communities, and providing opportunities for mentoring programs can help to facilitate social interactions and build relationships among remote workers. By encouraging social interactions among remote workers, managers can help to foster a sense of community and teamwork among remote workers, despite the distance.
Importance of fostering a positive remote work culture.
Fostering a positive remote work culture is essential for the success of a remote workforce. A positive remote work culture can lead to increased employee satisfaction, productivity, and retention, as well as overall company success. One of the key aspects of fostering a positive remote work culture is clear and consistent communication. Managers should establish clear expectations and guidelines for communication, including regular check-ins and team meetings. This helps to ensure that remote workers are kept informed about project progress and company updates, and that they have an open line of communication with their manager and colleagues. Another important aspect of fostering a positive remote work culture is providing autonomy and flexibility to remote workers. This includes respecting their boundaries and work schedule, and giving them the freedom to manage their own time and work in a way that suits them best. This can lead to increased job satisfaction and motivation among remote workers. Providing opportunities for professional development and growth is also important. This can include training programs, mentoring and coaching, and opportunities for remote workers to take on new responsibilities and advance in their careers. This can help remote workers to feel valued and invested in the company, and can lead to increased productivity and retention. Finally, recognizing and rewarding success is an important aspect of fostering a positive remote work culture. This can include bonuses, promotions, and recognition programs that acknowledge the hard work and contributions of remote workers. This can help to increase motivation and job satisfaction among remote workers, and can lead to increased productivity and retention. A successful remote work culture requires clear communication, flexibility, professional development, recognition, and reward. This results in satisfied, productive, and retained employees, leading to overall company success.
Conclusion.
In conclusion, managing a remote workforce requires a different approach than managing an in-office workforce. The key points discussed in this article include: 1. Utilizing technology to facilitate collaboration. 2. Fostering a culture of trust and building trust with remote workers. 3. Providing autonomy and flexibility to remote workers. 4th, encouraging social interactions among remote workers. 5. Respecting remote workers' boundaries and work schedules. 6. Providing regular feedback and recognizing and rewarding success. 7. Avoiding micromanaging and focusing on outcome-based management. As remote work becomes increasingly prevalent, it is important for employers to implement effective remote work management practices in order to maximize the productivity and satisfaction of their remote workforce. Future directions for remote work management include the continued use of technology to facilitate collaboration, the development of virtual team-building activities, and the creation of virtual communities for remote workers. Employers should also focus on fostering a positive remote work culture by providing autonomy, flexibility, and opportunities for professional development and growth. Additionally, employers should be mindful of respecting remote workers' boundaries and schedules, and should provide regular feedback and recognition for a job well done. In order to be successful in managing a remote workforce, employers must take a proactive approach and implement effective remote work management practices. By doing so, employers can ensure that their remote workforce is productive, satisfied, and motivated to succeed.
Thank you for listening to Leading from Afar. We hope you found inspiration, insight, and practical strategies to help you lead your remote team with confidence and clarity. Whether you're managing from across the city or across the globe, remember, great leadership knows no boundaries. One last thing before we go. If you're looking to take your remote leadership to the next level, why not try out a couple of powerful tools designed specifically for remote teams? First up is SoundBranch, a voice-first messaging platform that makes communication feel more human. It's perfect for leaving quick voice notes, sparking conversations, and staying connected without the need for endless meetings. You can visit soundbrand.ch to create your free site and start exploring. Then there's Watch and Learn, a video-first platform that supports both live and asynchronous communication. Whether it's sharing ideas, running team check-ins, or delivering training, Watch and Learn helps remote teams communicate, collaborate, and grow, no matter where they are. Check out Watch and Learn at watchandlearn.io, where you can set up a site and get started free. Finally, if you want to host a virtual event, go to eventanywhere.com to find out more. Thanks again for listening to Leading from Afar, and happy remote leading. We appreciate you joining us on this journey, and we hope you enjoyed the experience. Until next time, keep leading forward You can learn more about Web Anywhere and access further resources at webanywhere.com.